One game in the books, one to go. Welcome back to the Harbor. UMass, Boston, and Plymouth State facing off in softball action here on the LEC Network. My name is Milton Posner. Thank you for tuning in. If you missed the first game, you missed a 4-0 Panthers win over the Beacons. All the runs coming in that top of the fifth inning where they strung a couple of base hits together, some fielders' choices, and a critical error on the UMass Boston shortstop, Kaylee Bruce. And the wind immediately picking up right where it left off. If you weren't tuned in, then what you should essentially know is that there are any number of dust storms that have been building out here as the wind looked as though it had died down in between games and immediately just picked up in a major way on the first pitch of the game. Umpire had to stop the action a couple of times because there was just too much dust clouding the air. Hopefully it's going to be a less of an issue today, or in this game rather. But as we get things going, it's Emily Doble for the UMass Boston Beacons, and she's facing off against a Plymouth State lineup that reads ever so slightly differently from the one we saw in the last game. Lauren Archambault flies to left, handled neatly there by Gabriella Messier. The lineup will go like this. Archambault just flied outs at second base and batting leadoff. Then it's Vanessa Bryan, the left fielder. Mia Lee, in the designated player spot in this one. Madison Harris at first. She'll be followed by the new pitcher. It's a fellow Madison Pelletier, as Vanessa Bryan takes ball one. Followed there by Jade Girton, the center fielder. Then by the right fielder, a new addition for this game, Rachel Parslow. Then Nia Colby, the shortstop, and Katie Burke, the third baseman. That one's popped foul, 1-1 the count. They're facing off against Emily Doble of the UMass Boston Beacons. Sophomore, 5'10" out of Danvers, Mass. Has been the workhorse on this team along with Brie Melchionda, who you may have seen in the last game if you were tuned in. Earned run average of 2.45. Not the power pitcher that Melchionda is. It's more about strength and finesse. About control and finesse, rather. Is allowing a batting average of 305, but the earned run average still a very quality figure at this point in the season. Pitch off the plate. Behind her, she's got the following defense. Gabriella Messier in left, Christina Panagiotopoulos in center, Britt Perquette in right. Kaylee Ruggiero at third, Sydney Sandin at short, Haley Tilbury at second, and Amari English at first. That one cracked a clean single off the lip of the grass and in the left field. And Vanessa Bryan continues where she left off in the last game, reached base multiple times, and continues that trend here. It's Tam Landry behind the plate, catching Emily Doble, who's now got to contend with Mia Lee, who didn't exactly knock the cover off the ball in the last game, but still had a base hit. At some point, if you keep her off of second base, I think you're more happy. Powerful freshman. Takes a strong strike one on a fastball from Doble. The wind picking up the dust. This one's popped over toward the left side. Landry over by the fence. Oh, and got crossed up a little bit as she goes into the fence, left shoulder first. This is where the wind's starting to pick up and play with it a little bit, making it difficult on a play like that. The wind was blowing toward first base on the right field line for pretty much the entire first game. Now it's a lot more variable, but some of it is sailing over behind home plate and toward the Plymouth State dugout now, which is on the third base side of the field, as you can see. Oh, off speed, got her. Doble pulls the string and earns her first punch out of the game. Ball got about 2/3 of the way to the plate and just froze. And now it's Madison Harris. 207 average coming into the day, out in front of that one, 0-1. Harris had a run scored on her behalf, I guess you'd say, in the first game. There were any number of players, particularly in that top of the 5th inning when Plymouth State tacked those runs on, who were pinch run for. Runners off for second. It's Bryan that throws in on a hop, squirts into center field. And Vanessa Bryan's got the bag swiped. First steal of the year for her. But a lot of pinch runners for this Plymouth State team because the hitters that head coach or interim head coach Mike Bernier will defer to are not all the fastest. Some of them have some good wheels, but they don't have the more versatile, flexible speed that UMass Boston has up and down their lineup. So taking advantage of the substitution rules, they will throw some pinch runners out there given the opportunity in high leverage situations. Two and two the count. That one chip shot, shallow left field. Coming on to make the easy catch is Messier. And the single does not come back to bite the Beacons. We're away in the second game of our afternoon doubleheader. Stick around. Should be an interesting one. Beacons were held scoreless in the first game. Trying to rectify that now will be a lineup that includes a couple of new inserts. Gabriella Messier in left field. A lot of these inserts, bear in mind, these positional changes reflect what happened the last couple innings after head coach Natalia Ardagna made a couple of substitutions. Haley Tilbury, the second baseman, batting second. Sydney Sandin at short now, batting third. Bria Melchianda, the designated player in this one. She started the last game in the cleanup spot, followed by Amari English at first and Kaylee Ruggiero at third. Bringing up the rear, the center fielder, Christina Panagiotopoulos, the catcher, Tam Landry, and the right fielder, Britt Perquette, goes from the leadoff spot in the last game to the number 9 spot in this one. Either way, be it Perquette and Harlinski in the 1 and 9 spots or Messier and Perquette in the 1 and 9 spots, seems the idea for Coach Ardagna is putting speed at the top and at the bottom of your lineup to try to, at least the aim is, ease the turnover when it inevitably happens from the bottom to the top. But Messier to lead it off and facing ducking, a pitch from Madison Pelletier. Pelletier, freshman pitcher, also plays a little bit of second base. 5'7" freshman out of New Gloucester, Maine. That one slapped under the glove of the third baseman Burke and into left field. And Messier, entrusted with the leadoff spot, leads it off with a hit. For Pelletier, earned run average of 6.7, about 3 times that of Nicole LeBrun, who started the last game. She also pitched yesterday. It was 2 2/3 scoreless innings, 37 pitches to get through it. This is her 7th appearance, but only her 3rd start on the season. She comes now to Tilbury to shows bunt, pulls back, takes ball 1. Messier at first has not stolen a base this season. Shows bunt again, gets it down, but it rolls foul over that freshly painted line. Defense behind Pelletier stacks up like this. Brian, Girton, and Parslow in left to right field. Burke, Colby, Archambault, and Harris from 3rd around to 1st. Abby Kennison catching Madison Pelletier, who fires a ball to Tilbury. A 2-1 the count. Tilbury gets the bunt down. Throw goes to first, caught low there by the second baseman Archambault. And Tilbury, called on to bunt, had 3 hits to her name in the opener today. And now Sydney Sandin with 1 out. Speedy Messier on 3rd. And in that vertical stance, pitch is in the dirt for a ball. After the results of the last game, Plymouth State now 10-14 on the season, 4-3 in conference play. The Beacons, for their part, 15-10, 5-4 in conference. Ball outside. There are a lot of teams bunched up in the standings now. Entering the day, the distance between 2nd and 6th place in the Little East is a matter of a 4-2 versus a 3-3 record. Pelletier comes home. Sandin line drive clean through the box and into center field for a base hit. Messier rounds 3rd. She will score. The ball is bobbled in center field. Sandin's into 2nd. With an RBI single. Linaire tacked on for good measure. And the Beacons strike first after being shut out in the first game today. So it is a single and a fielding error on the center fielder, Jade Girton. Melchionda to first. Sharply hit, easy play to the bag for Harris. Advancing to 3rd is Sandin. For Sydney Sandin, is the 7th run batted in. She's had this, my apologies, 19th run batted in. I was looking at the wrong player. Team leader in that category as Amari English chops that one foul over by the scorer's tent. Oh, nice stop there from Kennison to keep Sandin at 3rd. Infield playing just about at normal depth. 3rd baseman Burke pinched up a little bit to cover the bag. English slaps that one down the deep right field. That's going to one-hop to the wall. Amari English with a stand-up double and a run driven in. The Beacons lead it 2-0 now. And the offensive punch, so lacking in that first game, has come back in a big way very quickly at the start of the second. English hit that one on the screws. And that's something else that we didn't really see in the first game. It was someone barreling the ball up and hitting it in the air. Even the Panthers didn't really get too many balls of that variety. And part of it is the wind pulling things back toward the right field line, and in the process pulling them down a little bit. The very excited Kaylee Ruggiero bouncing her way into the batter's box and takes a ball. But there just weren't that many barreled balls that were also elevated. To the extent that balls were barreled, they were scalded on the ground. But Amari English showing what she can do when she gets the ball up in the air. Some opposite field power. And her tied for the team lead 5th double of the season. And an RBI brings the score to 2-0 UMass Boston. Fouled off at the plate by Ruggiero. Another pitch to Ruggiero. Beautiful stop by Kennison. English is going for third. Safe. It was a superb play by Kennison to even have a chance. But English read the play too well. And now she's standing atop third base. Still with only, 2 outs in the inning. And the umpire's conferring here. Decide whether they like the call. Remember, the umpires may confer after a call. The umpire who made the call may agree to change it, but he cannot be overruled by the other umpire, even if the other umpire is behind home plate or designated as the crew chief. The umpire whose prerogative the call was gets to make the final decision. That one bounces in. English is going to come in to score, or not. Oh, it's a hit by pitch. Thank you very much to our scorer, Daryl, for the correction. It was a hit by pitch. On a walk, you're allowed to score on a play like that. You're allowed to advance at your own risk. Pitch deemed to have hit the foot of Kaylee Ruggiero. So it's runners at the corners with 2 out for Christina Panagiotopoulos. Ruggiero's off for second, excuse me. So it's a ball at the plate. Kennison's throw, which appeared to be an attempt to throw to second, was so far lowballed that the pitcher Pelletier, who may not have known that the stolen base was on, just fielded it herself. May ultimately have been for the best because we have seen that play before. The runners at the corners play where the runner steals second, tries to draw a throw to enable the runner from third to scamper home. So a steal of second for Kaylee Ruggiero, her 3rd of the season. The throw fielded by the pitcher Pelletier, inadvertently perhaps, eliminates any chance of Amari English coming home from third. Another ball at the plate. So 2 in for UMass Boston, 2 more in scoring position, 2 gone in the inning, and an 0-2 count, or a 1-2 count rather, to Christina Panagiotopoulos. In the scoreboard correction, it appears that is. Still got the count from the last hitter. That one scalded, but just foul. As the third baseman, Burt, got a glove to it. 2-2 now. Christina Panagiotopoulos. She can double the lead here if she can find the outfield grass. Instead, she pops it foul behind the first base side. Still 2-2. Sixth pitch of the at-bat from Pelletier to Christina Panagiotopoulos. slaps that one foul a little further this time, and we'll do it again. So scampering over to the parking lot. The ump inspecting it decides that it is in fact a softball, and here we go. Amari English at third. Kaylee Ruggiero at second after the steal. 2-2 pitch and another foul at the plate. Panagiotopoulos refusing to go quietly. Count has remained at 2-2. This one's fair. Oh, and it drops. Panagiotopoulos reaches. She was going right by Harris. Having somebody in the neighborhood might have affected the play there. Should go as an E3. It was popped right into the path of the runner. And Panagiotopoulos was close enough to affect the play. You usually don't have to make a catch like that with a runner right in your face. But at the same time, that's not going to be called interference. She's running a straight path through to first base. Off for second is Panagiotopoulos, and again, looked like a quick throw that the pitcher intercepted. It's not clear whether they're trying to go to second on these. Panagiotopoulos steals second. Tam Landry fights it off the hands, and Harris makes the catch, this time in foul ground without a runner interface. 3 runs in for the Beacons. First Messier, then Sandin, then English come in to score, and at the end of one, it's 3-0. Stay where you're supposed to be. Madison Pelletier to get us going in the top half of the second. Takes a pitch from Doble, beautifully painting the low outside corner. 0-1. The Beacons cashing in. 3 base hits, along with some help. Or 4 base hits, rather, the first 3 of them. From Messier, from Sandin, from English, all 3 of them coming around to score. So the Beacons with 3 runs in the first inning after not scoring at all in the first game. And that's a clean single into left field off the bat of the pitcher Pelletier. Leadoff hitter aboard. And the bottom is in the top of the second inning. She'll be followed by Jade Girton. Jade Girton, the center fielder, and then Rachel Parslow, the right fielder. Doble comes home for a strike. Much like Brie Melchionda in the last game. Doble firing the pitches over. It's that first pitch fastball established for a strike. Line drive, soft this time, and Tilbury makes the grab. One gone in the inning. Now it's Rachel Parslow, came in as a defensive replacement. Or rather as a pinch runner and then as a defensive replacement. Did not get a chance to hit in the last game. But gets an opportunity now. .235 average on the season. Couple of doubles and a home run to her name as well. Is in the regular rotation more often than not. Takes off the plate. 6 home runs for the Panthers on the season. The Beacons have just 1. The Beacons also, the flip side of the coin, have only allowed a single home run. That's the fewest in the Little East Conference. That one is low for a ball. To be number 1 in the conference in any category at this point is a feat in and of itself because it means you're better than EastCon at something. And EastCon has pretty much been eating everyone and everything it pleases through this stage of the season. You heard me mention earlier on that the distance between 2 through 6 in the conference out of the 9 teams entering today was only a couple of games. Parslow digs that one out, flies it into center field. Panagiotopoulos makes the routine catch for the second out. And the batter will be Nia Colby, the shortstop. Got UMass Dartmouth in second place in the conference entering the day with the same record as University of Southern Maine. Then the Beacons, then Castleton, then Plymouth State. There's a bottom tier of Rhode Island College, Keene State, and WestCon, speaking purely in terms of conference record. And then there's EastCon, picked first in the preseason poll. And, I mean, no matter how you want to slice it here, they're 25-4. They're 8-1 in conference. And their run differential, just overall, all the teams 2 through 6 have a run differential ranging from UMass Dartmouth up at plus 35 for the season, 35 more runs than they've allowed, and Plymouth State at a minus 13. UMass Boston's right about in the middle with plus 19 on the season. Runners off for second base. Pelletier dead to rights at second base. Tam Landry strikes again. They keep running on her, and she keeps applying the punishment. I'll wrap up the point before we take a quick break, but EastCon plus 137 runs on the season. So any team that wants to make a challenge, UMass Boston's not going to have to face them until they have a pair of meetings with them at the end of this month. So talking about next weekend and then the week after that, they will run into the buzzsaw and have to try to disable it. But for now, Tam Landry, with a cannon behind the plate, throws out her second base runner of the day in in 3 tries. Inning and a half in the books here. And the Beacons lead it 3-0. Britt Burkett reaches on the infield hit to get things going. Bunt single to lead it off, and now back to the top of the order, Gabriella Messier, who singled to left and scored in her last appearance. Beacons very nearly batted around in the last inning then. Off for second is Burkett. She's dead to rights. What a throw from Kennison. Abby Kennison stepping up for the injured Emily Picard. Guns down a runner and tells Tam Landry, whatever you can do, I can do too. So the Beacons with a bunt single immediately run their way into an out. Messier swings through that one, tips it right into the mitt. Smacks that one sailing over toward the bullpen, caught there by one of the Plymouth State pitchers. Looks very pleased with herself. Very interesting chant emanating from the dugout right now. That one smacked off the top of the Clark Athletic Center. That's very durable windows. Messier slap hit. Is it going to get through? No, it won't, but she's got an infield single nevertheless. The second hit of the first two innings for Gabriella Messier. And after running into an out on the last infield single, the Beacons have another base runner. Haley Tilbury, fresh off 3 hits in the last game, looking to do some more damage against the new pitcher. She retired her last time up. Beacons seem to be seeing the ball better, timing the ball better, getting the bat head where they want it to be. Big secondary lead, and the ball slapped foul. Pelletier rocks and fires outside, and maybe a little bit high, too. That one low of another big secondary lead and a retreat to the bag from Messier at first. Beacons trying to overcome the caught stealing, extend the momentum of the inning, and Tilbury takes another ball. Beacons do love that. I'm not sure if you can pick it up for those listening at home, but that little chant they do every time a ball sails in outside the strike zone. That one's popped up to short. Easy catch for Colby. And now with 2 outs, Sydney Sandin trying to move things along.
Now batting number 14, Sydney
Sandin. Sandin also with a knock and a run batted in her last time up. Squared that one up nicely, but with a bat head just a smidge out in front. And smiling to herself like she knows she should have pulled that one into the gap. Messier still leading from first. One and one. Sandin swings through it, or more accurately behind it. 1-2 now. Beacon's trying to recover from that loss in the prior game that we finished just about 45 minutes ago. Plymouth State trying to build on what is now a 3-game win streak over the past 24 hours or so. After a couple of wins against Rhode Island College, Sandin slaps that one. That'll land in front of the right fielder, Parslow. Station to station they go. First and second now with 2 outs. And Bree Melchionda with a chance for some damage. Fastball over for a strike. Melchionda reached base once in the last game. Was retired her first time up in this one. Hacks that one foul into the facade. Quickly down 0-2. Messier at second. Ground ball. Is it going to make it through? No. Slick fielding play and some solid, sturdy footwork from Archambault. And the inning is over. So the Beacons strand a pair, and at the end of 2, the 3-0 lead remains intact. Nia Colby, Katie Burke, and then back to the top of the order for Lauren Archambault in the top of the 3rd inning for head coach Mike Bernier of the Plymouth State Panthers. Panthers won the first game 4-0, down 3-0 in this one. As Emily Doble has looked confident through the first couple of innings, has been placing her pitches exactly where she wants, and forces a ground ball to the third baseman Ruggiero for the first out. New infield has been humming along. Remember, in the last game, Haley Tilbury was at third. She's now at second. Last game, second baseman Sydney Sandin is now at short. Kaylee Bruce, who made a critical error on a bouncing ball up the middle, not in the lineup for the second game. And then Amari English, the designated player, moving to the first baseman spot in place of Jordan Toomey. So the lineup shuffles for Natalia Ardagna. You certainly can't answer argue the results rather so far. And now Katie Burke. Doble still looking for her first 1-2-3 inning and gets her swinging out in front. That said, the pitch count has been pretty solid so far. 30 pitches to get the first 7 outs. Well, that one solidly struck, but oh, a nice ranging catch from Tilbury. She read it well. Off the bat, it sounded like solid contact, but it was a little bit kind of deadened, I suppose. Didn't get a whole lot of lift or carry to it. Now back to the top of the order for Archambault. So with 1 time through the order, 2 hits scattered, not much else, as the dust, ooh, right behind Tam Landry at this point. really kicking up a storm. Sailing over toward the dugout into the on-deck circle. Over on the Plymouth State side, there's a strike at the plate. The wind has been somewhat more calm in the second game, but it has still kicked up on occasion. And acted up like a child impatient that you're not giving it enough attention. On a very solid catch with a couple of papers over here. We're trying to keep our stuff together. We're trying to keep our eyes clear as we bring you this game. Trying to keep the dust out of the machinery. Doble comes home outside now. The wind now kicks up and little Duster moves across the infield, makes Doble look like she's in some form of a cowboy flick. Albeit not dressed properly for one. Comes home again, line drive, nice catch from Ruggiero. If it took her by surprise, she didn't let on, and through 3 innings, or 2.5 innings, I should say, a 3-0 lead. Amari English leads it off, pops it up, sends it foul, 0-1. She'll be followed in the order by Kaylee Ruggiero, the third baseman, and Christina Panagiotopoulos, the center fielder. Out in front, tops it off, grounds it foul, 0-2. English with a double her last time up, scored a run, drove one in. Reminds everyone what she can do when she gets ahead in the count and anticipates the pitch well. But now down 0-2, she's going to have to figure something out. She pops another one foul, stays 0-2. Oh, and that one drills. Oh, that doesn't look good. Sticks out her tongue, gives it a smile, and strolls down. Looked like it got her on the left wrist or the upper forearm or thereabouts. You worry about pitches like that. You worry particularly about it hitting the hand, the fingers, but also just sort of the meat of the hand. All kinds of little bones there that can be bruised and broken by a pitch moving fast enough. Anything you can hit that's bigger is going to be probably preferable.
Now batting number 7, Kaylee Ruggiero.
Kaylee Ruggiero now. English, having reached on the hit by pitch, smacks that one a laser down the right field line, foul. 0-1. Ruggiero retired. She bunts that one foul. Retired her last time up. or excuse me, rather, she reached on the hit by pitch, the one that looked for a moment like it was going to be a walk, a passed ball, and a run scored. Run came in to score either way. Ruggiero, she's just bouncing in there. A little bit of a slow swing there, got crossed up by the pitch and tips it foul. But, I mean, you see the way she gets in there. She's literally hopping up and down. It's the sort of eagerness that you only see in a scattered few athletes. There's a little hop. For those with more energy than the rest of us. That one low, a good take for her on a 2-strike count. Mari English at first, nobody out. Kaylee Ruggiero swings and gets a piece of it. Fielded by the pitcher, Pelletier goes to first for the easy out. One gone, English at second now. And the batter is Christina Panagiotopoulos.
Now batting number 5, Christina Panagiotopoulos.
Panagiotopoulos in her freshman season. Lasers that one foul to the right side. Her coach has some high hopes for her. It's based on the work ethic. Starting from a good spot, but Natalia Ardagna says she works hard. She holds herself to a high standard. She's always checked in and asking the right questions. Excited about her development moving forward. A tall, lanky center fielder with center fielder speed. Now standing in against Pelletier. Outside, ball 2. Smacks that one into right field, heading over towards the gap. Oh, and a leaping catch by Parslow. Fantastic grab by Rachel Parslow, ranging into the gap. And the inning is over. Needed all 5'9" to make that grab on a ball that otherwise splits the gap and scores a run. 3 innings in the books and a 3-0 lead for UMass Boston. Vanessa Bryan, often the thorn in the Beacon's side today, is going to lead it off. The top of the 4th inning, followed by Mia Lee and Madison Harris, the 2, 3, 4 spots. Way off balance there, swinging early at the outside change. And it's an 0-1 count. Bryan has already reached base. She's got one of the 2 hits for the Panthers in the second game. Fastball, same spot. This time Bryan lays off. Swings underneath that one, and it's a 1-2 count. Doble checking the wrist, rocking, firing, pop-up. Sailing over the scorer's tent and out of play. Oh, that one's hit hard. Ranging back on it is the left fielder, Messier, and she can't make the grab. Pops out of the glove. Bryan to second base there. And a big miscue in left field from Gabriela Messier. Not the easiest catch with the wind blowing, to be sure, but a very makeable one. And now a runner on second with nobody out, heading into the heart of the order. So Vanessa Bryan, in what normally would be an out, still rewarded for hitting the ball in the screws. And now it's Mia Lee, the number 3 hitter. Ground ball to third. Holding the runner and firing to first calmly is Ruggiero. So textbook defense from the Beacons keeps the runner at second. Retires the dangerous Lee. And now off to the number 4 hitter, Madison Harris. Was retired to end the top of the first with a runner on base. And now has a chance. Chipped off toward third, dripping foul. One gone in the inning. Bryan at second after the error by the left fielder, Gabriela Messier. High fastball, and Harris couldn't get the barrel squeezed up there. Fastball away. Doble still looked in control pretty much the whole way. Up at 50 pitches for the day now. Line drive, foul. Got the hitter out in front. See if she goes back to that high heat that she got by Harris a couple pitches ago. She's gone outside and away on the last couple tosses. Fights it off, shortstop Sandin for the catch. Got that thing about midway down the bat, closer to the handle than the barrel. And with 2 outs now, it's Madison Pelletier trying to help out her cause with another base hit after leading off the second inning with one. Base hit here scores a run. Strike one. For Pelletier, comes into this one not just as a pitcher for this team, but one of its better hitters. In fact, with 383 average, she's tops on the team. Hacks that one off. 0-2. Top 3 on the team in slugging, in reaching base, in scoring runs and knocking them in and walking. She's got 4 doubles too. Here comes Doble home. That one slapped into left field. This time Messier's got it. With a wave of dust moving toward the batter, she squeezed the barrel and barreled it up. But a line drive sinking into the glove of Messier ends the top of the fourth with no damage done. 4 scoreless for Doble, and still the lead for the Beacons remains at 3 runs. First pitch comes in low like a stone skipped across a pond for ball 1. It's going to be Bella Nadeau. Oh, and a high throw. And just keeping a foot on the bag in time is Harris. So Bella Nadeau becomes the first out of the frame. It's hitting in Tam Landry's spot. Presumably we'll see Landry back out there. Percat runs up, pops it up, bunts it foul, makes it out. So a couple of very quick outs here. The bottom of the 4th inning, and now with 2 outs, it's Gabriella Messier with 2 hits in 2 trips so far and a run scored in 1 of them. Corners pinch up. She takes high for a ball. Messier on the offensive side of the ball has been just about impeccable today. On the defensive side, well, you saw the error that the Beacons are fortunate did not come back to bite them. That was a 2-base error with nobody out. Put a runner in scoring position there in a situation where they don't need a hit to cash that runner in. Pitch is over, but not the right height, and it's going to go for a ball. Ground ball to the shortstop. Tough hop. What a pick. Nia Colby handling one of the nastiest hops you will see and handling it deftly. And at the end of 4, it's still 3-0 UMass Boston. Jade Girton to lead it off. And lead it off with, oh my goodness, what a catch. Barely can you even get situated before Christina Panagiotopoulos with a leaning catch on one of the toughest balls to field in the sport. For the center fielder, it's the line drive hit directly at you, where you not only are facing a sinking liner on the toughest of angles, but you've got to make a split-second decision on whether you seed the single or dive to make the catch, which risks it getting past you and turning a single into a triple. But she snagged it for a much-needed first out as we head into the bottom third of the order with Rachel Parslow, Nia Colby. Or excuse me, there's going to be a pinch hitter for Colby coming up in a moment. But for now, Parslow takes a strike on the outer half. Line drive. Oh, what a... Oh! Spoke too soon. Kaylee Ruggiero almost one-upped her center fielder, but it just came loose when she hit the ground. That's going to be an infield single for Parslow. And now it's Jersey Strum, sophomore pitcher out of Somersworth, New Hampshire. Pinch hitting in this spot, does not usually play another position. She's got 4 hits in 9 at-bats this season, though, including a double, and has driven in a couple of runs. So small sample size, but you can't deny she's been effective when called on. And now with a runner on first and 1 out, she's called on again in place of the light-hitting shortstop Nia Colby, who in Colby's defense, if she can handle that hop and play defense at that level, you understand why she's still in the lineup. Doble comes home. Outside, Landry tried to frame it. That one's a strike. Same pitch, a little closer, and got the call. Parslow at first has stolen a base this season in her only attempt. Oh, and a beautiful punch-out pitch. Oh, and the ump confused me too. It's a 2-2 pitch. He punched her out on a second strike. Oh, and immediately with some karmic retribution right there as that pitch foul tipped right into his upper chest. Oh my goodness. So the home plate umpire with an inadvertent 2-strike punch out has a pitch fouled back into his chest protector. At least I hope he's got a chest protector on. 2-2 pitch. Another poke job. This one coming over towards us and hitting the scorer's tent, which never happens. So about 3 things in the span of 3 pitches that we do not ever see here. Inadvertent punch out, fouled into the umpire, fouled it off of us. And finally, ball 3. So Jersey Strum comes up to pinch hit. The pitcher coming up to pinch hit. Pulls all kinds of rabbits out of all kinds of hats. He's now staring at a 3-2 pitch from Doble. Whacks that one into center field. Panagiotopoulos hauls it in for the second out. And so as about an eventful a flyout as you're ever going to see. And now we've got, I'll tell you folks, whoever this is, they are not on the roster as number 44. It's maybe Casey Johnson, or Johnston rather. Oh, we'll go with that. Casey Johnston, the sophomore, coming up to pinch hit.
Pinch hitting for Plymouth State, number 44.
4 hits in 20 tries this season. It's a little bit of a number mix-up, it would seem. Maybe some jersey issues over there, one way or the other. She's up with a runner on first and 2 gone in the frame. It's the top of the 5th now, and they're in the same position the Beacons are in, or were in, about an hour ago, where you're starting to look at the out counter and realize you're running out. Pops that one up. Landry over by the fence, and, ooh, a softball. I make the catch, sort of. That's going to be strike 2. We're over situated here right on the first base side to the left of the dugout. Puts us in prime territory, usually to not get hit, but we've had 2 balls come our way in the span of about 2 minutes. Usually any pitch that gets popped foul is sailing far enough over us that you don't really worry about it. Doble fires home. Chopper to short. Sandin fires across, and the Beacons are out of the inning again. 5 shutout innings for Emily Doble. And the Beacons cruise control. Diving stop at short by Colby, but she's got no chance at Haley Tilbury at that point. It's too much speed coming down the line, but Nia Colby has played some remarkable defense in the last couple innings. You may have seen that wicked bad hop that she handled as smoothly as a pro would. And now you see this one, that diving play going into the gap, but this is the consequence of softball being what it is, the dimensions being what it is that if you have to dive into the hole on that side of the infield, you need a combination of a perfect play and a slow runner to have any kind of chance at gunning them down. The bases are just too close together. It's too much of a pinball machine for you to get that sort of thing done in the way that you could get it done in a baseball game. Puts a lot of pressure on those middle infielders in particular. So Tilbury reaches on the infield single. And a hit by pitch for Sandin. First and second now, with nobody out. And the batter will be Bree Melchionda. Coach going to take the ball. We will have a pitching change, and we'll be right back. Haley Tilbury at second. Sydney Sandin at first. Bree Melchionda at the dish. She takes strike one from the new pitcher, Alyssa Wilson. Started the second game yesterday through 4 scoreless innings. Took about 57 pitches, exactly 57 pitches to do it. It's coming in with an ERA of 2.91 on the season and has held opposing batters to a team best 237 average. Quickly ahead 0-2 on Melchionda. Outside on the fastball. The sophomore out of Haverhill, Mass. Called in a big spot here to prevent this game from getting away from the Panthers. Fastball missed the black. 2-2. Melchionda retired in both trips today. Socks that one foul. Keeps it at 2-2. Melchionda with another one off to the left side. She hasn't had a ton of hitting success today, but what she has succeeded at, it's a very sort of specific niche, is extending these at-bats by hacking off the high fastballs. 7th pitch of the AB. Oh, just low. Most umpires at this level will take a while to actually tell you the call, so there's always this little moment of hesitation where you don't know what's what. 2 on, nobody out, 3-2 pitch. Melchionda tips it into the mitt, and that's the first out of the frame.
Now batting number 21, Amari English.
And now it's Amari English, 1 of 2, with that ringing double back in the first inning that drove in a run she would score herself a few plays later. Gets a piece of that one, but pops it up. Second baseman Archambault makes the play. And apparently thought there were 3 outs. That's only out number 2. And now it'll be up to Kaylee Ruggiero. Retired once, hit by the pitch once. Give us that little hop when she gets into the box. Yes, she will. It's hard not to love that. Fastball smacked foul. Tipped foul, rather. 0-1. Should she reach, Christina Panagiotopoulos would step to the plate. Wilson fires over for a strike, and quickly ahead of Ruggiero, 0-2. The Beacons scored 3 in the first. They have left 4. Just missed the punch out there on the outer half, 1-2. One-two pitch, poke job, off the first baseman's glove. This is going to be a tough play. Just in time. Ruggiero's got some speed, but the fielders recovered in the nick of time. Through 5 full from the Harbor, and after a first game win, Plymouth State struggling to keep up and narrow the deficit. Plymouth State gets to send the top of their lineup against Emily Doble in the top of the 6th inning. Lauren Archambault, Vanessa Bryan, and Mia Lee. Oh, and the wind is just absolutely going berserk. It's whipping dust all the heck over the place. This is as bad as it has been at any point since the last game. That one popped up. Can Sydney Sandin find it? No, she can't. A couple of players diving into the duster. And Messier is down in shallow left field. She's just getting to her feet right now. They were confirming, is she okay? And she says, yes, she is. You had two things going on there. One, the wind's effect on the ball. It's kind of pulling it all the heck over the place. As Sandin, the shortstop, came back and Messier, the left fielder, came in. But you also had it obscuring their visibility. So Sandin's moving toward the left field line only to move back closer to where she started the play. Ground ball through the box and in the right center field. Going first to third without a moment's hesitation is Archambault. And the Panthers have got the Beacons cornered with nobody out. So it would have been a pop-up, turns into a single. A well-placed ground ball scoots through into the outfield grass. And now Mia Lee, who has been relatively quiet today, has a chance to do something very, very loud. 3 runs to make up, 6 defensive outs of leeway. Fastball low. Ball 1. That one finds the zone. On deck, first baseman Madison Harris. Lee is one of the bats with a lot of pop in this lineup. He's been held to just a single in 6 trips to the plate so far today. Reaches out, jabs that one up toward the second baseman, and Haley Tilbury makes the grab for the first out. So the runners don't advance, and now it's Harris.
Now batting number 22, Madison Harris.
Wind starting to become more and more of a factor. See the little dust cloud kicking up between the pitcher's plate and second base. Nibbled at the corner, strike 1. Harris jackknifes it foul. Deflected over there by the bench by a quick reacting clipboard. Oh, and here comes the test wave. The wind is becoming increasingly erratic too. Pitch comes in here outside and high for a ball. In the first game, it was pretty consistently blowing toward the right field line. Now it's changing its mind every couple of pitches and making itself increasingly hard to plan for. Landry with a nice snag there. Keep that pitch from becoming trouble. Archambault at third. Vanessa Bryan at first. Emily Doble with a shutout in the works right in between them. Low ball for a ball. Pop fly, shallow left. Panagiotopoulos makes the catch in the left center field gap. Coming home and scoring is Archambault. And on a sac fly, the Panthers finally break through. Madison Harris brings home Lauren Archambault. And now the tying run will come to the plate with 2 outs. A runner ahead of her. It's Alyssa Wilson in the pitcher's spot. She's got 1 hit this season in 2 appearances. In a manner of speaking, giving her the highest batting average on the team. Socks that one. Oh, and a nice pick off the shoe tops for Haley Tilbury. So a dangerous line drive finds leather before dirt. And with 5.5 innings in the books, the Panthers have gotten 1 back, and the Beacons still clinging to a 3-1 lead. Christina Panagiotopoulos, Tam Landry, and Britt Perquette, the 7, 8, 9 spots, against Alyssa Wilson. Bottom of the 6th inning, last chance for the Beacons to pad their lead before they head to the top of the 7th. Fastball away. Should anyone reach, it'll go back to the top of the order. And Gabriella Messier, one of 2 Beacons with multiple hits in this one. Panagiotopoulos fights that one off the hands. Would have been a tricky catch for Kennison, even if she'd read it right off the bat. Just missed the zone. And Panagiotopoulos with a gutsy 2-strike take. 2-2. Swings through that one for strike 3. Strikeout for Wilson. And Tam Landry, after being pinch hit for the last time around, grabs the bat again.
Now batting number 6, Tam Landry.
Comes over low for a ball. In the top half of the 7th, it'll be Jade Girton, Rachel Parslow, and Nia Colby due up for the Panthers, provided there are no pinch hitters, which at this point I wouldn't even bet on. They'll need 2 runs at least to keep this going, possibly more if the Beacons can string something together now. Landry, as always, squares, pulls back. Oh, and squares again. This time gets the bunt down, and a good one. But a nice adept play from Burke, as Landry, it looked like, did not get the fastest start out of the box. And now it's Britt Burkett with 1 hit and 2 trips so far. Was caught stealing after that hit. The bunt single the last time up. She chokes up on the bat. Has that same sort of approach that Sarah Harlinski has, albeit slightly less exaggerated. Always running up and attempting slap hits rather than trying to dig in and slug the ball. Bunts again, and it's a good one. Burke throws to first, no chance. And Burkett easily legs that one out. Second bunt single of the game. And now they'll turn over to the top of the order and Messier. With 2 outs, the Beacon's trying to make some noise. Add some insurance. Messier chops that one off the window of the Clark Athletic Center, and it's 0-1. Another ball slapped off the building facade, and it's 0-2 on Messier. 2 hits and 3 trips, a run scored back in the first. It's 3 runs for UMass Boston in that bottom of the first inning, no other scoring. Plymouth State got a run back in the top half of the 6th. Ground ball, Colby, smooth as silk as she has been all game. To the top of the 7th we go, last chance for the Panthers. Jade Girton, Rachel Parslow behind her, Nia Colby behind her, against Emily Doble, who has allowed just 1 run and 5 hits through the first 6 innings. Popped up. English over by the dugout. Can't quite make the play. She runs out of room. By a matter of a foot or 2. English unable to make the catch there. She goes into the fence. Doble calm and collected as usual. Oh, bounces that one in there. Looks like she did not have the release point she wanted. Or the grip she wanted, I should say. Girton, hitless in 2 trips. Make it hitless in 3 trips as Tilbury, ranging to her right, picks off the grounder and then picks off Girton. 1 gone, and the batter is Rachel Parslow.
Now batting number 1, Rachel Parslow.
Panthers need a base runner here to bring the tying run to the plate. Skips in. Oh, Landry with a beautiful snag there. And hearing the whoops from the dugout in recognition. And that is not an easy pick to make, particularly because, I'm not sure if you can tell on the screen, but if you look at the area around home plate, it's not level by any means. That pitch is over for a strike. There's the area where the righties keep digging in, and digging in rather well. As you can saw, Landry herself had a little bit of trouble getting out of that spot when she tried to bunt for a hit. The catcher's spot is dug down as there's a soft line drive, easy money for Sandin. And so picking softballs behind the plate right there, that's not level ground that it's bouncing on.
Now batting number 5, Nia Colby.
Last chance for the Panthers, it's Nia Colby. And Emily Doble in the midst of one of her finest games of the year. Fires strike one. Chipped foul, dribbling up along the third base line. Oh, and 2. High. Last strike for the Panthers to work with. On deck is Katie Burke. Landry tried to frame it, no dice. 2 and 2. Pitch comes home, count is full. Nia Colby very patient for a hitter that knows she needs to reach base. Is more than happy to do it via the walk as she's one of the tops on the team in that category. 3-2 pitch from Emily Doble. Popped up. Out of play. Seventh pitch of the at-bat. Ball 4. There's life for Plymouth State. Nia Colby with yet another walk. And a pinch hitter, Sam McCann, who started the last game as the designated player and then pitched a little bit in relief, is going to come up to hit now, representing the tying run. Coming into the day, it's hitting .268. She has 1 home run on the season along with a couple of doubles.
Pitch hitting for Plymouth State, number 27, Samantha McCann.
Crunch time just got crunchier. Ball 1 on the first pitch. Doble fires high. Landry thought about a back pick. He's got to keep her composure now. Her pitching well to be a firm number 2 to Brie Melchionda on this staff has given the Beacons as good a chance in the LEC as they've had in a while. She misses the zone there, though. It's 3-0 now. Tying run aboard. Back-to-back walks. First to Nia Colby, now to Sam McCann. And it'll revert to the top of the order and Lauren Archambault, who reached on a two-base error by Gabriella Messier her last time up. And Tam Landry having a chat with her pitcher. So Colby at second, McCann representing the tying run at first. Now back to the hitter, who's been a little bit of a problem for the Beacons today. Strike one. Archambault, the best on-base percentage on the team, hitting .362 as well, with 9 walks. Off the plate. 1-1. Doble looking to the dugout now to her wrist. 1-1 pitch. That's strike two. For the second time, the Panthers down to their final strike. Chopper to short. Sandin, shovel. Game over. The Beacons take game two by a score of 3-1, and the squad split the doubleheader. Doble gets the win on a gutsy pitching performance and just held out to navigate her way out of danger in the end, and the Beacons' 3 runs in the first inning were enough to seal the win. I'm going to say a quick thank you to our production crew before we sign off. All the stuff that they have done to help us get this broadcast up. To our producer, Daryl Kanicki, our director, Maria Spilios, our camera operator, Gina Albano, and Danny Anderson on the music. Once again, the final scores from today. Plymouth State took the first game by a score of 4-0. UMass Boston came back and nabbed the second win by a 3-1 margin. Beacons are going to turn around for a doubleheader with UMass Dartmouth on the road on Monday. Thank you so very much for tuning in for Milton Posner and all of us here at the Harbor campus. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great rest of your day.